Hello, precious people. I'm Jacqueline Parks. Welcome to my home studio, Stampin' Turtles. Uh-oh. I am hearing myself really loud. All right, so hopefully the volume is good for you guys. I just heard myself over my phone, so it should be going good. I'm having my tea with honey, and what's cool about this honey is it's made by the pastor of my church, and it's called Coastal Comb Bee Company, but I think he missed the mark with the name. He should have called it Holy Honey because, you know, he's a pastor. Anyways, I think that today we're going to have a good video because I am at home. I have better internet at my house than at my studio where I teach classes. And today we're just going to trust in the Lord. I've been praying over this and tried to tweak some of my settings last night. So hopefully, give me a thumbs up if you can hear anything and if you can see anything. So anyways, I hope that you enjoy this video. Let's see what we got on my desk today. So today we're going to talk about ways to have fun with watercolor paintings. So first things first, I want to start with step one. Let's see, step one is start with what you have. So here's the thing, all right? I have this really cool Crayola watercolors. They are really simple. There's not very many colors. Everything on here is just very plain, okay? I do like that there's a white background, so when I do mix colors in here, it is easy to see the color. Some of the Crayolas have an orange lid, and that's not good for mixing. But I did buy these for my kids' watercolor class. If you're interested in finding out more about that, you can comment on this video. You can go to my website, which is stampinturtles.com, and look at the list of classes that I offer. But this is something you could start with if you have it, like if your kids have it and you're just like, I want to have fun painting today. Let me follow along with Jacqueline Parks, right? And so just grab what you have, right? Start with what you have. So a lot of times we get all excited about, you know, trying something new, and then we start and we're frustrated with it, right? Now these are my professional paints. I've actually replaced most of these with professional grade watercolor paints, so they're light fast. But recently I've been playing with some other stuff, and but that's the cool thing about this medium is you can experiment with a lot of different things, so it's really, really fun. So now I need a brush, and you might be like, oh, what kind of brushes do you use for watercolor? So you can get these super duper expensive ones. You can get a medium grade set. This was like 12 bucks for 5. Or you can go super cheap and get a set for 2 bucks that comes with a bunch of little things. So I may show you guys a couple different options here, just so you can see how it looks and how it reacts. I have these little tiny cutouts, right? Also, if you don't have watercolor paper, that's kind of the important thing you need to remember is watercolor paper is the best. And you could use cardstock, but that's not going to give you the results you want. But watercolor paper, start with whatever you have on hand. So this is actually nice paper. It's Arch paper. But if you don't have super nice Arch paper, you can start with just some Walmart brand or whatever you want. Another really cool thing is you got to start with some water, right? So we need our water for watercolor. A lot of people get a little nervous about watercoloring just because they don't know what they're doing. Well, look at this. I'm just going to put a little line of water on the top of this paper, just the top half. And you probably can't tell, it is shiny. And that's how you can tell if your paper is wet, if it's shiny, okay? But there, I can kind of see a little shine right there. So you want to paint wet and wet when it's kind of shiny, okay? And we're going to start with this really cool, really cool, let me close up on this. So really cool blue. And we're just going to go right on this edge. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh, I love that. Look at how that is flowing. Ooh, it's kind of bright. I do have extra bright lights going on right now. So that is flowing towards this whole area that's wet. I only put it down here, right? But it's flowing that way. And hopefully this is still going because I am getting all kinds of weird text messages. But I do not want it to be weird text messages coming through. So I don't know how to mute my phone, y'all. I'm pretty tech savvy, but for some reason cannot figure out how to mute my phone. I do know how to turn it off. Silent it. So now what we're gonna do is let's try the Crayola because that was the professional grade. So down below, let's see what this blue does, right? Let's just test it out. And another thing you can do when you're, you want to add water droplets into the paint to rehydrate them. See how that's rehydrated? And you can mix it over here and see what color you've got. You can add some green, make it kind of this teal color, but that's like my favorite color is teal. So now I'm just going to go along the bottom here. And now this method is wet and dry. I did not wet the bottom, right? Only the top. So that's kind of cool looking already. Look at that. Kind of looks like an ocean. And what did I use? Like 2 colors. Always drying, rinsing, drying. Always have a paper towel nearby. So definitely this is looking pretty good, just like it is. I think it's kind of cool. Don't you? I think so. Here's the next thing that we need to do when we are having fun painting, right? Let me see if I can write the next one. So, number 2, experiment. So I just showed you those 2 things. Let's see what happens if we put that off to the side and get a new one, okay? I'm gonna get a brand new blank canvas. Because I want to show you something that's been hanging on the wall that I did. I did this in 2021. I actually waxed it because there's no glass frame on this. So if you do put your watercolors on the wall without glass or plexiglass or something to cover it, you need to probably wax it and just make sure it's protected that way. But I really like the simplicity of that. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to experiment with a different color now. So let me see, what do we want to use? Let's try some of this purple mixed with some blue. Look at this, you guys. Purple and blue mixed together with a little brown. Let's experiment, make different colors. So these 3 colors right here, what are they making? It almost looks like Payne's Gray, y'all. Like you can mix your Payne's Gray color out of Crayola, which y'all know is one of my favorite colors to mix with. All right, so now I've got this kind of bluey color. I am going to put some right here and some right here. I'm kind of going by what I already did on there. So now I'm going to rinse. And this is that cheapy brush, right? Watch what happens when I just go like that with just some clean water at the bottom. Look at what happens. It just keeps kind of flowing towards that clean water, right? And look at that. that's just really pretty. And what's going to happen at the top? You're like, we need something at the top. So now I'm going to add some clean water at the top with my little cheapy brush. And if you have a scraper or something like this, watch what happens. Now, it's going to take a minute for that to do something. A lot of times we want to go and just start, we want to just start doing something where it's like, I don't know. We just want to do something and have it be how it's going to be when it's the end, right? When it's the end of the painting. But look at this. It's kind of transitioning right now. It's kind of doing some blooms and it's kind of doing a little bit of that scraping, but I kind of want to help it. You know, I'm waiting, but I'm still really like, I want to see something happen right away. So when you're trying to have fun, but you're impatient like me, you just start putting some stuff in there and see what happens, right? So now I'm gonna try again and just do some of these little thingies. And I'm using this that I mixed with the blue, purple, and brown. So I'm just doing that. That's kind of like a bloom. It's really pretty. I kind of like that. So there we go. That's kind of all I needed to do with that. And now, if you think about it, what could go good with that color? Maybe a little bit of an orangey brown. So let me zoom back out so y'all can see. Well, this is my whole desk again. So I'm gonna do this a little bit better, like that. So now I'm mixing this kind of orangey with whatever's right there. Actually, sometimes you get a little bit upset about a color. So just start over. If you don't like that, you're like, ooh, that's not the color I want. Just start over. Of course, you need water. If it's not flowing, we'll do a whole thing about that, where if it's not flowing, you need more water. More water. And I always mix. I don't care if it gets all messy. It's okay if it gets messy. That adds character and it's fun. Okay, so now I'm going to add some of this maybe right in here. Kind of like grass, maybe? Green grass. I don't know. Just have fun and experiment this. This is the part where you can like just have fun, right? Have fun making something. You don't even really know what you're making. I'm getting rid of that white in the middle. I'm just feeling like it's a little too white. A little dot of something. Let me see. How's that looking? Oh, I like how that's looking. That looks so pretty. But if you are liking this video and you want to see more stuff like this, experimenting and just kind of playing around with your watercolors, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, hearts, something like that. And I will try and do more of this. I was gonna see what the poll said for what you guys wanted me to paint, but I don't even think anyone responded yet, but I just posted it. Was hoping for some quick response, but didn't see anything. But this is just gorgeous. I love how this is looking. I think I'm just gonna set that off to the side as well with my other one that I did. So that was an experiment, right? That was fun. Let me see. I'll just put him over here for a second. Dry right there. All right, so now I like working small too. I think a lot of people think they have to do a giant painting in order to have anything, you know, worthwhile to do. But as you can see in these little tiny 3 inches by 3 inches. They are just kind of fun little things. I can sell these for like $10, and it's kind of an affordable original artwork, and people enjoy stuff like that. And they can always, frame it, put it in something like this. Let's see. Step number 3. Let's see what step number 3 says. So in step number 3 to having fun would be buy something new. So like brand new, right? Something you've never tried before. I found these at Michael's in the clearance rack, and I had never heard of these things. They're Primatech, Daniel Smith, extra fine watercolors. I heard about them. They actually have real gemstones crushed up in there. And so that was something that I was like, I want to try something new, and I want to try something that I've never tried before. And since, I've been painting for 5 years, it's kind of hard to find things that I haven't painted with before. So let's see what happens when I open this. And I might use it straight from the tube. Let's see what happens, right? Let's check this out. I've seen some people, they actually paint like this. They just put their brush right in the tube. I don't know why, but they do. So now I'm going to do something. I'm going to put this right in here. Look at that. Do I know what I'm doing? No. I don't. But this is the pure, whatever color you call this. And I love that I just keep adding water to this. So, oops. Maybe I don't want that. Dab. That's another thing. If you mess up with your watercolors, do not freak out. You can just dab it with some paper towel. So this is this Zoisite Genuine, which I'm not really sure. Maybe I do want something like that up there. Make like trees. Little palm trees, pine trees. That might be kind of fun. This is going to be like one of my watercolor ones, I think. I kind of like them. Let's see. I'm using the cheap brush, y'all. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Now this paint is not cheap. That's okay. Sometimes you gotta splurge on something to have fun, right? A little fun. So that is already starting to look like a landscape that I want. Now I'm going to put the lid back on this one because I'm done with that one. I'm going to try this one, which is Tiger's Eye Genuine, which is a brown. It's very juicy coming out of there. Oops. There we go. So let me see. I'm going to just get a little bit on here. See that? Now I'm going to paint on the bottom here some kind of rocks and cliffs into that, what I already painted. So it's kind of mixing with what we got on there. But we can do thicker. I noticed when I was playing with this one before, it's kind of a bit like a translucent color. It's not super opaque or dark. Like even straight from the tube, it's not making anything really dark. But that's okay. Because what I'm making right here is going to be something. It's going to be something. Let's see what it's going to turn into. Because we're just having fun, right? We're not trying to make anything that goes in the loop. We're just having fun. And if you're like me, experimenting, buying new things, I like going shopping for new stuff at the store. And since my daughter started working for Michael's, that is like so awesome. All right, now I do need another color. Why? Because I don't have a blue with the genuine Permatex. So we're going to just use some of that blue I already mixed from the Crayola. And we're just going to go, and we're going to make this little waterfall right here. And this is called the dry brush technique. That might have been a little high, but you have to experiment. You can't just be afraid to do these things. You got to try and do something new, right? So let me do a little bit under here, because that's kind of like, we're just going to add some water, make sure it looks like something at the bottom there. And then I do want some kind of blue sky, right? I want a little bit of a blue sky. And so I'm going to hold this tight and just kind of do some blue, right? Adding that water and just letting the water push it around. And you can have some clouds. You don't have to have it perfect. Nothing in this has to be perfect. We're having fun, right? When you're having fun, nothing has to be perfect. So there I just did a cute little watercolor waterfall. Watercolor waterfall. Say that fast 5 times. And now we're going to put this one off to the side. So I have several things going off to the side, but we're going to put you over here now. We'll switch you over there. And so I do have one more little square that I want to paint for y'all. I don't even know what I'm going to paint, but I think I gave y'all some options to pick from, and one was a beach. So we're going to see what happens if I try and do this little beach scene maybe on this one. But if you want to know what our fourth way of having fun with watercolors is, let me show ya. Da, 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 da. Number 4, join an online group. Either that or an in-person group, okay? Either one is good. I recommend Paul Clark on Facebook. He's got a whole bunch of people that are so supportive on there already. I think they said there's like 40,000 people in that group. So you will find your people if you go there. There's going to be someone who likes what you paint and someone who likes you, okay? So I have found a dear friend, Adela, by watching Paul Clark's videos and commenting, and she is fabulous. I absolutely adore her. So now we're gonna do, maybe we'll do, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do like we're from a drone looking down at the beach. How about that? And we're gonna do it at an angle, because why not, right? Now look at how I'm using that dry brush technique. So the texture of the paper is like that, right? Now we're gonna use some of that brown. We're gonna go along that edge. Then we're gonna rinse, yellow, yellow. We need more yellow, not green. I don't want no green. So, I have to move this. Hold on. I know I'm mixing where you can't see me. I'm sorry, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna go back it in and make kind of a sand. This is the sand. Now I did leave some white, which is really important. And we can put some of these little dots in here. I'm not really looking at anything, to be honest with you. I'm just letting this do whatever. But this is like the shoreline with the foam. And then we're going to keep going a little darker over here, just for fun. May end up doing a little bit more in there because it's a lot of white. If I don't like something, I just kind of wiggle my brush over it and it kind of disappears a little bit. Um, Another fun thing, you know me and my splattering. And that's way too wet. So those splatters just kind of go wherever. That's okay because guess what? It will dry and then we can splatter, which is so much fun. So much fun. So I'm going to put this one off to the side to dry. Where will I put you? We'll move over my little waterfall over here. I actually like how that waterfall turned out. Another artist who I follow on YouTube and he's on Instagram and Facebook as well is Leron Yaskowski, and he has lots of tutorials. He does a live on Thursday sometimes, which I love to hear him be philosophical about watercolors. So you guys should definitely check him out. Do I have any more little sheets of paper? I don't think I do. I ran out. But let's just go back to this one then, because this one was kind of simple and plain. We want to do something different with it. And I have this brush that's like a fan. It's a fan brush. I've never actually painted with watercolor with it. So let's see what happens with it. Okay. But Leron was saying something about his sketches in it, you know, when he does something really quick without stress and it's like just a little study, kind of small. He said those sometimes turn out better than the thought over, planned out paintings, because when you're being just free and having fun and not worried about the outcome, you actually get probably better outcomes because you're not stressed out about it, right? So this is really cool. I like how this looks, right? I like that little white line in the middle. It's kind of abstract-y. I like it. But I don't even know what this brush is going to do. I have no idea, right? So let's just mix it into this kind of blue that I have. Let's see what happens, right? Let's just glide. Look at that. How cool. I love it. I might have to use this some more. That was pretty awesome to just do one pretty much swipe of this brush. And look what we achieved. That looks very oceany to me. Very oceany. And now I do that too. But see, you don't have to overdo it. Sometimes we want to keep going with something and we should just stop and set it to the side. Just like I set this off to the side. Because I wasn't sure what I want to do with that yet. Those are one of those things. So you might be wondering, what is the fifth step, right? The fifth step, I'm going to tell you right now, is, let's see, let's write it, because it's kind of fun to watch me write, isn't it? I don't know if my writing's that good, to be honest. But number 5, I like this pen. It's a Sharpie S gel. It's really smooth. I like it. But it's my last one. When you're having fun watercoloring, I would say frame it. Frame it. So many times you think, oh, I don't like my painting. It's no good. I'm not going to do anything with it. Well, that was kind of like, let me see if I can do a little resizing with this. It's kind of hard to see this. Hold on. It's going to have to move up here. But basically, this was early on when I first started painting too. This was like maybe I'd been painting for a half a year or something. And I had fun just making this little abstract. And this is not that big. Like you can see my hands. It's not that big. So I was just kind of like, maybe I should frame this. So I actually took some cardstock and made these layers. And I have this, which is for paint pouring or something. I don't know where I got it from. I have so much stuff in my craft room. I'm like, let's just see what happens. So I glued it in there after I waxed it. and it's not a perfect frame job at all, but this hangs on my wall. Like I love walking by this every day and seeing what I painted. I actually have two of them. So there's this one and this one, and I just love how they're framed. I think it's simple, natural wood, and these little black mats, which I just made out of cardstock. Totally not even professional, but now that my daughter works at the frame shop at Michael's, I can get things professionally framed. And I really love to see what she has done with some of my paintings. She's framed a couple, which is really cool. But I do like how it looks framed, and I may not have liked it, and just sitting on my desk. But when you frame it and you see how it looks, you're like, wow, that's kind of cool. So let's see if we can bring everything back that I painted. Let's see what happens when we bring all 4 pieces back that I did. And look at how much time we spent doing this. Y'all, I used Crayola. A lot of that was Crayola. I used cheap little $1 brushes. I did use nice paper. If you're going to upgrade anything, upgrade your paper first, because paper actually does make a big difference. But I think out of these 4, my favorite is the waterfall. And I feel like God is just kind of guiding me in the direction of painting more waterfalls. I feel like they're just super fun to paint. I actually want to go and visit a lot of different waterfalls in my area, in my state. There's a northern Alabama is called the Land of 1,000 Waterfalls. So that would be so amazing to hike to some different waterfalls, take some pictures, and see all the amazing things there are to see in the great big outdoors, the wilderness, right? So I think we should end at a 30-minute live, because basically I'm done showing you the 5 steps to have fun painting with watercolors. And this tutorial was pretty simple, so I think you guys can duplicate it with what you have at home and enjoy just seeing what it looks like. Hopefully this is going to be a good video. I think I didn't really watch it, so I don't know if the frames were dropping. I don't see any red lights on my computer, which sometimes it goes in the red zone. When I was at the other studio, it was like constantly red, which meant everything was dropping. Everything. All the frames were dropping. In fact, I think it kicked me off at one point. I had to restart the live. So I decided I'm coming back to my house. I'm going to do my lives from here, but I may film some edited videos at the studio. I think using my camera and my phone, I can get a couple different looks to a video and be able to post that. I'm by no means a professional photographer or videographer or YouTuber in any way. I started this just to show you all that a 50-something-year-old can start a new hobby. That's why I started this YouTube channel. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's learn together. I'm just going to film what I'm doing and see if anyone is encouraged by how I'm approaching this and see if it helps. And so you'll see I do not really delete videos. I deleted one because it was the side of my ear the whole time. So you're not going to get anything by looking at my ear. So I did delete that video, but hopefully, even with some of the past ones that in the last couple weeks were pretty bad from the Wi-Fi not working too good, maybe you'll get something from them if you wanted to watch them. But of course, the best way to learn this stuff is to do it. Another thing that I was thinking about this morning before coming on was the movie The Matrix, where like Neo wants to learn how to do jujitsu, and so like they plug the thing in and download some kind of file into his brain, and all of a sudden he knows how to do jujitsu, right? In like 2 seconds. I wish we could do that with watercolor. I wish we could just like zoop, put it into our brain and know how to do it. But I think the most important takeaway from today is that you have to actually practice doing this every day, but have fun practicing. I didn't want to do this if it wasn't fun. The first time I tried, I was in my 20s and I didn't have fun. So revisiting this in my 50s, I was like, let's try it again. And sometimes, you watch a different tutorial on YouTube and it makes it seem so much more fun. And that's what happened to me. I watched someone else showing me how to do something step by step. And I was like, oh, that doesn't look too hard. And then I got my paper, got my paints, got my brushes, used what I had at the moment. And then I just started and I followed the tutorial. And I ended up enjoying the process because I was watching step by step and it came to life, just like I was showing you guys. These little guys, they came to life. They were just like a blank piece of paper, and then all of a sudden, boom, there you go. So it's really interesting to watch how these things can just evolve as you paint, and you can see so many things happen that are just magical. I think watercolor is magical. I love how it looks. I love the whole thing about just experimenting with it and seeing things. So you know how I always leave you guys with some scripture at the end. I kind of like this one. I just randomly picked a card out of my little scriptures that my friend sent to me. All these are personalized with my name, so the scripture is like it's written to me, which of course the Bible is written to you personally, to me personally. But this says, trust me and be happy, my dear Jacqueline. Happy is the one who puts her trust in the Lord. Proverbs 16:20. So you could like replace your name with that. And yeah, being happy. A lot of times, I think my church said something about, the difference between joy and happy. Happy depends on your circumstances. Joy depends on God being in control. And so that does say happy, but I think it's another word for joy as well. Uh-oh, someone gonna bark. Little bit. Come here. But yeah, I think it's really good to just focus on the fact that we are saved by putting our trust in the Lord. And with that trust, we should have joy. We should be happy. And like everything around us, a big tornado going around us, no, that's not fun. That's not great. But we have joy in the Lord. So I hope you all know that I love you and I pray for you all, and I hope you have a blessed day. Mwah.